To understand about organizational dynamics, we have to first imagine an organization as a living, breathing creature like us or like our pet, right? So just consider like us. What do we have to do every day? We have to adapt to situations like traffic, rain, mood swings, exams, many factors. Just like us, an organization also have to deal with internal drama, external pressures. So organizational dynamics, this whole thing is all about how an organization responds to these ups and downs. It includes everything from communication between employees to how teams coordinate, learn, grow. Basically, it is the study of how organizations behave, survive, and thrive. Now, before we go any further, I want to know whether you guys saw Mani Ratnam's latest venture, Kamal Hassan's Thug Life. Yes? I hope, okay, for those of you who have seen, very good. We have some managerial lessons in that. And for those of you who haven't, excellent, because you saved 2, 3 hours of time in your life. But, anyways, I hope that most of you have a basic premise of what happens in Thug Life. So I want you to think of an organization like the world in Thug Life. So how was Kamal Hassan's character? He was like the gang leader there. Like he was the person who controls the power over there. And that position is what everybody else is trying to get into, correct? So just like that, just like Kamal Hassan's character in Thug Life, organizations also have a top leader, a CEO kind of a guy, not CEO kind of a guy, CEO, trying to balance power, people, purpose, all those things. And how did you noticed how the gangs coordinate, how they share information, how they respond to rival threats and all? That is how organizations also deal with their internal teams, the communication systems, as well as external competition. And just like in Thug Life, success also depends on strategy, structure, loyalty, and constant learning. Because both in underworld and in business world, if you don't adapt, then you are out of the game. Correct. Now, before we proceed any further, quick request, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. I hope you liked my content. You will like the rest of the content as well. So kindly subscribe. It will help me make more videos like this. Now, so in short, what can you say about organizational dynamics? It is the study of how organizations function, adapt, and respond to the internal as well as external changes. So, there are a key elements that are several important factors that make good organizational dynamics or that affect organizational dynamics, just like how Thug Life had multiple characters, god, plot twists, and even subplots. Anyways, so what are the key elements of this organizational dynamics? We have coordination, very important. What is coordination? It makes sure everyone is on the same page. Simply put, information processing is there. That is basically how information flows in the organization. Information processing. Organization learning is also there. Organizations also have to learn, constantly keep updating itself. Otherwise, they are not. Otherwise, what will happen? They will be left behind. What is the technology changing? Any new policies coming in? Continuous learning curve has to be there over there also. Similarly, we need the McKinsey 7S. What were they? System, strategy, shared values. Shared values is nothing but another word for culture, culture. Similarly, staff, style, skills, right? One, two, three, four, five, six. Only six I have mentioned. Ah, seven. Structure. All these seven S of McKinsey's framework. So all of these are important or key elements of organizational dynamics. All these parts will join together to keep the organizations functioning smoothly. So, what affects how an organization behaves? What are the influencing factors? Broadly speaking, we can divide the influence factors into three: external factors, internal factors, and individual factors. External factors are like the weather, completely out of your control, like politics, the economy, the technological advancements, the legal policies, uh, global and social trends like AI or automation, all sorts of things external to the organization and out of our control. Internal factors, they are more or less like your own room. How you organize is up to you. So these can include leadership styles, the culture of your organization, the policies of your organization, the resources you have, including financial, human, raw materials, everything, right? And lastly, also the individual factors. These are all about the people in the organization, the HR aspect of your organization. What are their skills? Are they motivated? Value, satisfaction, stress levels, whether they've had their basic necessities met or not. All these things are also factors that affect an organization's dynamics. Now let us talk about the structures or configurations of organization. Imagine you are trying to manage a cricket team, okay, versus how you might manage a music band or a startup. Each time, right? Whether you are managing, let's say, a cricket team, music band, or a startup, all these three need managing, right? But do you manage each all these three in the same way? Do you manage a cricket team like a music band or a startup like a music band? No. Each, what you can say, it is like that only. Each organization needs a different style of managing them. A hierarchical configuration, like very strict orders or clear roles and lots of approvals, could be better suited for something like the government office. On the other hand, a flat structure where even the CEO wears jeans and works from a beanbag kind of a structure might be suitable for a startup. And at the same time, maybe if a matrix structure, which is a little bit more complex, might be better for an MNC, where employees might report to multiple bosses, right? So, uh, so these are the various structures of organizations: hierarchical, flat, metric. Similarly, even virtual, holocracy, cellular, adhocracy. These are not new concepts of organizational structures to us. These have been discussed in other MMPH subjects. So I am not going in detail here. If you guys need any particular concept to be dealt with in depth, let me know in the comment section. When you are commenting for Unit 1, please restrict to the concepts of Unit 1 because it will be easy for me to consolidate and make a video. Okay, so those are the different types of structures. So each structure that we have seen here, hierarchical, flat, matrix, whichever, they have their own flavor depending upon the company's goals, culture, and market. An important thing to understand when we talk about organizational structures is how an organization draws its boundaries. Who is part of the team? That basically means who is part of the team, who makes the decisions, these kind of things. These boundaries define what's internal and what is external to the organizations. So, when these boundaries meet the external environment, that is where things get interesting. Like, for example, if a competitor launches a very cool product, like let's say Samsung and Apple, right? Nowadays, you might have seen a lot of comparisons between Samsung's AI and Apple's AI, right? So when that such things happen, or when the government changes its regulations, or like for example, YouTube changed its monetization policy. That is not government, but still you get the idea, I hope. What happens? Your organization has to respond. And that interaction between the inside and the outside forces is what shapes our organization's actions. Correct. So, organizational boundaries define the internal to external interface. What is internal? What is internal and what is external? Where do you draw that Lakshman Rekha? Right. And this boundary, influences the decision making, innovation, as well as competitiveness of our organizations. Now, let us switch our gears a little bit and talk about organizational diagnosis. Organizational diagnosis, you can think of it like a full body health checkup for your company. You cannot fix what you don't understand, correct? So, organizational diagnosis helps organizations figure out what is working for them, what is broken, and where they have to improve. We have different models for this. One of the most famous models and a very important model also is McKinsey's 7S model, where there are 7 elements. What are they? Structure, system, strategy, shared value, staff, style, skills. 7 elements divided into hard S and soft S, which helps us understand what is happening where. So one important point of McKinsey's 7S framework, or why it becomes so important, is because if one of these 7 elements change, it is going to affect all the other 6 elements. You remember, this is a model that we have been studying from first semesters onwards. Similarly, SWOT analysis. What is SWOT analysis? Strength, weakness, opportunity, threat analysis. SWOT analysis checks all these kind of things. It is like how what you do before choosing your MBA specialization. You must have thought, right? What is better for me? How good am I? Am I good in numericals? Am I good with the commerce stuff? Do I like banking? Am I good with the people? Am I good with marketing? Do I have a good marketing skill? Or going outside and meeting people, does it threaten me? All sorts of things you might have thought about before you finally decided on HR specialization, correct? Like that only, SWOT analysis, you can say. Then there are also modern models like appreciative inquiry, right? And also, yeah, force field analysis. This is a model which shows what forces are supporting or resisting change in an organization. The modern models like appreciative inquiry focuses on what is working well instead of always finding problems. So it is appreciative. We go and say, wow, it is like what is working well. The focus is on the strengths. One problem with this diagnostic model is that we focus on our strengths, so we might actually miss out on the real problem. Correct. Yeah, so that is there. So each model, as I said, it has its own pros and cons. SWOT is super easy to use, but it can be very simplistic. McKinsey 7S model is very comprehensive, but it takes time. Appreciative inquiry, it is great for morale, but it might ignore actual problems. So, depending upon the organization's need, the right model has to be chosen. And who chooses the right model? The HR. So, how does all this link to organizational learning? We said, right, organizations have to also learn. Learning was one of the key elements of organizational dynamics and structure. So, how does organizational learning help companies, or how does all these things that whatever we have seen to so far, how does it link to organizational learning? What is learning? Learning is what helps us deal with change. Similarly, for organizations also, learning is what helps them deal with change. Just like how you are right now preparing for an exam. By learning all these new topics, organizations also need to keep learning to stay ahead. This could mean adopting new technology, or upgrading their employees skills, or changing their strategy, whatever it might be. Organizations that don't learn eventually is going to get stuck like an old Nokia phone in an iPhone world. Nobody wants that, correct? Now, organization learning is what helps companies adapt, innovate, solve problems, and improve performance. This involves collecting knowledge, sharing it across the company, and using it to make better decisions. But this kind of learning doesn't happen by magic. Is it like one person comes with their wand and says, Accio learning? Any Harry Potter fans out here? Accio learning, and then learning comes to you. No, it doesn't happen like that, right? It needs support. Who should support it? The top management, the leaders. They have to encourage learning. HR has to enable that learning, and the culture of the organization should support that learning and reward it. When the organizations create a learning culture, that then the people of the organization will not be afraid to ask questions, take risks, or admit their mistakes. And that is when real progress will happen. So these concepts, that whatever we saw in this for unit 1, they are not new to us, right? So that is why I just gave a total overview of it. After all, this is a rapid roundup video. It is not an in-depth video. It is a rapid roundup video. So in case you need me to elaborate on any topic from this unit, you can always leave a comment below and I will see what I can do about it. But one small request is that when you do comment below this particular video, please restrict those topics to unit one's topic, because then it will be easy for me to combine those requests and create a video. Right. Otherwise, what happens is that even, I have a day job. After all that, whatever time, little time I get, squeeze in to make these videos nowadays. So, going through the comments and then going to check which unit that was takes a little bit time. So, the time to market, or in this case, the time to YouTube video will increase a little bit. And if you are very close to your exams and all, it will hamper you. Right. So I don't want that to happen. That is the only reason why I am requesting you guys to do that. If you need any elaboration on any particular topic from Unit 1, please do that. Please leave a comment below. Right. So I hope that I was able to give you an overall understanding of the unit at least. I hope to meet you in another video. Till then, happy learning.